What is up, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Tuesdays with Turbo. I got a really good show for you guys and gals planned. It was one that I really didn't think about putting together until we did have a couple instances here in the office. So I figured it must be just not known knowledge. So I figured, what the heck, let's talk about the after closing, after you close on your house. What do you do insurance-wise? Because we've talked at great lengths about what do you do leading up to it. The process of getting pre-approved for your loan, getting a realtor out to do your walkthroughs, all getting your home insurance and all of that stuff. We've went through that time and time again, but we really haven't focused on what you do after. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you that do not know me, my name is Ryan Turbo Jackson. I am your insurance resource. And when I do these Tuesdays with Turbo, usually every Tuesday, I put them together because we get questions a lot here in the office. And if we get questions here at the office, you might have that same question. So I try to educate folks on what they're buying, because what we are doing here, we're insuring your top assets. So that's what we get paid to do, is to answer your questions. So at any time in the video you have any questions, concerns, drop me a comment here if you're watching live, or if you're watching the replay. I would be more than happy to answer your question. And if I don't have the answer, we'll get one for you. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about after you sell your home, especially when it comes to your insurance, and a couple of other little tidbits kind of thrown in there. But that's mainly what we're going to be focusing on today, because we actually have had a couple clients call in and be like, well, I sold that house 3-4 months ago. I just figured you knew. But no, we don't. We don't. So let's get into the show. And like I said, if this is something new, please feel free to drop a line in the comments, and I will highlight your message here. So let's get into the first thing we need to do. Okay, you've been to the closing table, signed about 1.5 million papers, but one of the papers that you did not sign is a cancellation form for your old home policy. And you might be thinking, well, Ryan, I've signed everything else. Wouldn't the insurance just kind of go with it? Well, the answer is no, because we don't. As far as the insurance is concerned, we don't know when you actually moved out. Yes, you might have sold it or bought your new home and then sold the other one, 3 or 4 weeks later, a month later. So we don't know exactly when that happened. So when you do sell your home, yes, by all means, after you leave the closing table, give your insurance agent a call, because we would like to know when that happened. And the vast majority of companies and agencies do require you to sign a cancellation form so that we can get that policy canceled for you. And if this old home was in escrow, or if you did pay in full for the whole year, or you did have some outstanding premium that was still out there, all of that would be refunded to you. So it's not like you're out any money. So let's make sure we get this taken care of. Now, if you're watching this and you didn't do this, is there a way to go back to, a few months to where we could cancel it even further back? And the answer is normally yes, but we do have to have some sort of proof of sale when that sale happened. And a lot of times companies do allow us to go back and, more than just a couple weeks, so that we can get you that unused premium for you. Number 2, while you're talking to your agent, have them update the address on all of your other policies. Now, this may seem like something very trivial, but especially when it comes to your auto policy, there might be a change in premium. And you might be asking yourself, why? I haven't had any accidents, any tickets, anything like that from, the point of when I moved till now. So why should there be any premium adjustment? Well, part of your auto insurance premium is built up to where you actually live. I always use the example here in Marcellus. The risk is rather low for things like theft, vandalism, and there isn't a whole lot of traffic, so that gets kind of calculated into the rate. However, on the flip side, we do tend to have more car versus deer accidents as compared to like a Portage or Kalamazoo. especially downtown Kalamazoo, a lot more traffic, a lot more people, and the risk is higher. So that premium is going to be a little bit more expensive living in Kalamazoo as compared to Marcellus. So where you're moving um, does tend to affect the rate. And if there is when it does come claim time and they do need to send a check, we want to make sure it goes to the right address, not your old address. So kind of keep that in mind as well. And as well as any umbrella policies, because umbrellas cover, they go over your home and auto. So we want to make sure that umbrella policy covers or goes over the correct address. So a bunch of things there just to kind of keep in mind. Number 3, if you are moving, especially from state to state, we want to make sure that when we do get the auto policy, that you make your appointment with the Secretary of State, go in and update your license, your tags, your registration, and with that, you will need a new proof of insurance. I was going over this with a client that's moving from Iowa back to Michigan. She hasn't lived in Michigan in quite some time, and her and I were talking about when we should rewrite her auto policy from Iowa to Michigan. So when we had this conversation, I said, well, the best time to do it is make a one appointment at the Secretary of State, get your new license, get your new plates and tags, and when you do that, you're going to need auto insurance. So let's take care of it then. So again, if you're moving, still in Michigan, you will need to update your mailing address on things. You wouldn't need to update the plate or the registration for that matter. But if you are moving from out of state into Michigan, we want to make sure we get that taken care of as well. Number 4, update usage of old home. And what I mean by this is if you buy a new home and we update the address and everything to that new home, but you're not selling your old home. Are you using it, is it going to be a seasonal home? Are you going to rent it out? Are you going to go Airbnb? There's a lot of different things aside from just selling that old property and that old home that you could be doing. So we want to make sure if you aren't selling it, and I know this isn't like a post-sale type thing, this is more of a post-buy thing with your new property, but we want to make sure that the usage on that with that old home is correct. And if you were using it as a primary home, and you want to take it down to a seasonal, we can just go in and change that. But if you are going to be renting it out to either a family member or any other tenants, or if you are going Airbnb, we need to rewrite that policy into a rental policy. So again, communication with your agent is key. And if we don't do that, and there is a claim situation, and the adjuster realizes like, hey, John and Julie Smith don't live here, they're renting it out, it's written as a home policy, not as a rental, there's something fishy going on here, they could actually deny coverage. So that's something we definitely do not want to happen. Definitely do not want to happen. And lastly, talk with your agent. And what do I mean by this? Well, I mean, I know I can speak on this quite well. When you are an insurance agent, you get to know a lot of people. You get to know a lot of places. And especially if you're new to the area, one of the best places to kind of get plugged into that social hub is your insurance agent. Okay, where are the best places to eat? What's cool to do around here? Where can I walk my dog? Is there a dog park? And if so, where are they? What amenities are around your new purchase? Again, we're not really talking about the old one. This is something that, in addition to the things that we've already talked about while talking with your agent, just be like, hey, I'm new to the area. What's there to do? Or do you know anyone in the area that you can kind of get me plugged into to kind of take advantage of the new surroundings? So your insurance agent is rather plugged in when it comes to any sort of professional people, whether it be contractors, plumbers, roofers, you name it. We usually have a guy or gal that we recommend in our office. So take advantage of the resources that we have, especially if you're new to an area. Let us help you. Let us help you. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the video. It wasn't going to be a long one today, but this question has come up many times. Well, I thought that during closing, I was canceling my old home policy, when in actuality, the reason they can't do that is because it's your policy. Only the named insured can cancel the policy. So having that document at closing never happens. So make sure you're talking with your agent, and especially if you have a bunch of money paid up front, to where you would be able to get that money back because you sold the property. So this is, again, something to take advantage of monetarily, and just to make sure there's not anything out there that doesn't need to be. And again, talk with your agent with the new purchase. Get your addresses updated on everything. Get plugged into the community. Have fun and just enjoy your new purchase. So that's been the video for today, ladies and gentlemen. Get out and enjoy this second coming of summer. Even though summer is going to be around for another week or so, but the weather is fantastic. Let's get out and enjoy it. And as always, I will see you next time.